Hello, Facebook Live, Instagram. I think we're live. Just waiting for a few people to join us. Apologies if there's any issues with the connection. Just trying to sort everything out here for you so we can get started with our live. I'm just going to restart on Instagram here. Looks like Facebook is a bit more stable today. Right. If there's anyone watching now, can you send us a message just in the comments? Just say, I'm here, I can hear you, I can see you. Hey Kiana, welcome. So we'll start now, guys. So for those joining now, my name is Renan Fenerich, and I am the head coach of North Coast Futsal here, and I am in Grafton, based in Grafton, but I do work in anywhere between Yamba and Coffs Harbour. Okay. So the reason I thought I'd put this live together for you today is to talk about my story and my journey here till I got to Grafton, till I got to the beautiful north coast of New South Wales. So I thought I'd make this in a more interactive way so we can make a conversation out of it, have questions and answers. So please join me in this conversation. It's just not me talking. It's us having an informal chat here. Apologies with the Instagram viewers. I think it's the connection is not good enough for their live, so we're going to keep going here with the Facebook live. So just so I know where you're watching this from, can you just shoot me a quick comment in below just to say where you're from or where you're watching this from? Just say hi. we have a lot of people between Brazil and Australia and different places, so just wanted to make sure that the message gets to everyone. I will go and share this on my personal page as well, just so everybody has a chance to watch. Just quickly sharing on my timeline. If you're only just joining us now, guys, so can I just ask you to write down in the comments, just say where you're watching this from. Are you in Coffs Harbour? Are you in Grafton? Are you in McLean, Yamba? Are you in Brazil? Just tell me where you're watching this from. It is very good to see you here, guys. So welcome, Jonathan. Hi, Gabby. So we're putting this live together so we get to know, you get to know me a little bit more and the things that I probably have never told anyone. So for those only just joining now, so welcome. So if I can just ask you to please say hi. I'm watching from wherever you are, so I know you're there and I can talk to you. This is going to be a conversation, and hopefully we can bring some value to you by the end of this live. So just go and share this with your friends, and hit that heart button there or the thumbs up so I know you're there and you're with me. Apologies, I'm new to this. I'm just learning how to use this. I was meant to be on both Instagram and Facebook, but Instagram is not letting me go live at the moment, so I'll try and share this video later on. So if you are with us, just go ahead and send me a message, send me a comment, just say, hey, I'm watching, I'm with you, go ahead. Cool. All right, I think I'm going to get started then with a little bit of my story and talk to you about the things that I have been doing since I started my career. So it all started back in Brazil, obviously, where I was born in 1984, a long time ago. Feel old now. Where I spent 23 years of my life, played futsal, did all my studies, and at some point in my career, I had that difficult moment, the difficult time where you have to choose if you keep on playing, keep on trying to become a professional in a country with 220 million people, with zillions of kids dreaming about it. So Mick Day, hello Mick, hi, welcome. Our friends, our coaches, friends here on the North Coast watching, so welcome. And so as I was saying, my story began in Brazil, where I was born, and then at 17 years old, I pretty much had to make the decision if I wanted to keep going, or if I wanted with playing, or if I was going to do a university degree. So that was the difficult moment in my life, difficult decision. Hey, hello Vinny, my friend Vinny. So we've got two futsal coaches watching now. So welcome Vinny, and thanks for watching. So then I had to make that decision. When I decided to go to uni, that was very difficult for me. I tried to keep on playing and also studying, and then I had to work to be able to pay for uni, and so that was my life and how it carried on from there. So later on I finished uni, and then I had a 2-year degree, post-graduation degree. So it was the methodology of training and learning of futsal and football. So that was approximately 350 or 60 hours of studies with theory, and obviously there was practical. So we had lessons with Terceiro Oliveira, who was at the time the Brazil's national coach for futsal. So it was so good, and that gave me some really good insights. So guys, can I just ask you to just comment below for me? Can you just comment where you're watching this from? Where you're watching this from? So where are you? Are you in Australia? Are you in Brazil? Are you in Grafton, Coffs Harbour, New South Wales? Are you in Port Macquarie, Lismore? Where are you watching this from? Just go quickly and comment so I can say hi to you. Then after that, the 2-year post-graduation degree, that was in São Paulo, which was, just to give you an idea, it was 5-hour drive from my hometown. So Wollongbar. Hi Vinny, from Wollongbar. So then it was every fortnight, so a big trip to the big capital, scary capital for me at the time. So that was for nearly 2 years, but totally worth it. The knowledge that I acquired was so valuable, and I was so pleased to have chosen to follow on with my career in futsal as a coach. Mick Day from Port Macquarie. Hello, Mick Day and East Coast Futsal family. Hi, everyone. Hope everything is going well there with you guys. Look forward to interacting with you in our futsal courts very soon. By the way, guys, so if you can help me out, just there is a button there somewhere on your screen that is to share this live. If it just costs you probably 1 or 2 seconds, just to hit share for me, please, so we can bring more people in this broadcast. That'll be really good. Thank you for that in advance. Okay. Then after finishing that post-graduation, I found myself looking for a job, and an opportunity for being a futsal coach quickly appeared, which was at the Sociedade Mascani. So that was in the countryside of São Paulo. We had a partnership with a very big company called Unimed in Brazil, which was the sponsors of our futsal club at the time. So we played in junior age groups, and obviously we had a professional team as well playing in the state league, the São Paulo league, which was at the time a very strong league. So I had the opportunity to work with junior players in Brazil from 7 years old to 17 years old. So, and then we had our academies, we played competitions, we were state champions in under 15s in 2006, and then 2007 we were under 17s champions. It's a good point that Gabby just reminded me there. In Brazil, for you to be a coach, for you to be allowed to coach, legally you have to have a uni degree. If it's sports or PE or etc. So Rafael from, where are you watching us from, Rafael? Welcome to the broadcast. Another futsal coach. It's so good to have you here, Rafa. Just let me know in the comment, Rafa, where are you watching this from? Where are you right now? Then 2007 was that crucial time where I Brisbane, hello. So that was that crucial time where I had to choose if I was going to keep going there or what was going to happen with my life from that point. I had two other jobs which I had on the side. So I was a teacher in a school for kids from probably 3 to 12 years old, so primary school, sort of daycare into primary school age. And I had a different job as well in a gym. Gyms in Brazil have a slightly, depending on the how big they are, they have a different setup. So for example, it's called a gym where I worked, but they had swimming pools and they had soccer fields, futsal courts, and all the gym equipment. So I worked there. They had acquired a franchise of a new club at the time in Brazil called Ole Brazil Football Club, Ole Brazil FC. So I had the opportunity to work there with football at the same time as I was working with futsal in Mascani, the junior club. So that was really, really good. But I still felt it was missing something. Andre, welcome, Andre. How are you, Andre? Where are you watching us from? Can you tell us? Just put in the comment where you're watching us from. Tony, hello, Tony. Yeah, pretty much. I had the 3 jobs, but I felt something was still missing. So something was still missing. So we got a question there, guys. As I said before, this is a conversation. So if you can help me out, I really apologize for this is my first time. If anything is not according to the standards, but I'm doing my best here. I'm a little bit nervous. So look at that. Vinny's just sent us a question. That is really good. Thank you so much for your question, Vinny. If anyone else who's watching right now have any questions, please put in the comments and we'll make this a conversation. I just don't want to be here talking by myself for a long time. Vinny's asking, tell us, why did you choose to come to Australia? So that is an excellent question. Thank you so much for saying that question, Vinny. Why did I choose to come to Australia? So it was that time when I had the 3 jobs, but I wasn't still feeling that. I was feeling that something was still missing. So one thing on the side that I always had was to be able to learn English. So I wanted to speak English. So obviously that gave me a few options. So there's so many different English-speaking countries in the world. However, I knew from the start that I didn't want to go to North America. So straight away we didn't have United States and we didn't have Canada. Then I kept on looking, and then it's a funny story because I had this habit when I was walking on the street that if I had seen like a piece of paper on the floor or something, some sort of rubbish that was there, I would just pick it up and put it in the nearest rubbish bin. So I don't really know if I was a little bit crazy. Can you comment for me on in the comment section there? Do you think I was crazy or was I doing the right thing? Sometimes I think I was a little bit crazy, but picking up rubbish and putting in the nearest rubbish bin, that was one of my habits. One of these days, I picked up something and for some reason I didn't throw it in the bin. I think there wasn't a bin nearby or something. So what I did was I put it in my pocket. So I got home, Mum doing all the washing, and then obviously you always forget something in your pocket. Yeah, if it's money, if it's a flyer, or if it's whatever you put in your pocket, so you tend to forget. And then she came with this piece of paper saying, hey, look at this. and amazingly, that paper was intact. So you could still, after being washed, you could still read and see all the information in that paper. So that paper was a flyer from a travel agency called Australia Centre. So Australian Centre. So it was, they were specialized in organizing trips to Australia. So obviously they had beautiful pictures of, the Sydney Opera House and the happy kangaroos and koalas and sunny Gold Coast and etc. So that straight away caught my attention, and I, for the first time, still answering Vinny's question there about why I chose Australia, for the first time I actually felt something for, why have I never considered going to Australia? So long story short, I went there, Vinny, and I got myself booked with an appointment. And then all of a sudden I was buying air tickets, organizing visas, choosing, where I would go. At the time I chose to go to Brisbane, where I lived for 5 years. So between 2008 and sort of 2013, that's my story there. And obviously things that I considered, like the weather in Brazil, well, not in every part of Brazil, because Brazil is too big, as you know, but the weather is very similar to the Australian weather here where we are. So that was a good impact on my decision as well. I'm not a huge fan of the super cold weather. So lots of little things put together made me choose Australia as my new home. So I just wanted to say hi to Riley and Mel Bender. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Riley and Mel have played a massive part in our lives here, and we are so grateful to have you in our lives. Riley Bender and Mel Bender, thank you so much for watching. So I hope I answered Vinny's question there before. And here comes another one. So how did you get to Grafton? How did you start your career as a coach in Australia? This is I was going to talk about that, Vinny. Thank you once again for the questions. Everyone, if you're watching right now, please don't be shy. Make this a conversation like we're doing here. Just there's a comment section below. Anything you want to know about my journey, my trajectory, my story, just ask me. This is a conversation, not a monologue. So here we go. How did I get to Grafton? So that was a funny story. And before I begin, I promise I'll make it short. I wanted to say that you, Vinny, the very Vinny that's asking the question, have made this possible in a way. So basically, I was in Brisbane. I was at a point that we had just got our permanent visa to remain in Australia legally for as long as we want. And then I had my Ole Futsal Academy happening there in Brisbane. It was at the very beginning at that time, so we're still, building the numbers, running one-on-one private sessions, running academies, participating in tournaments and etc. Very successfully at the time. And one of these tournaments that we participated, it was Vinny's tournament pretty much. So he was working for a company that was organizing this tournament. It was back in, I think it was February in 2013. So I nominated my team, so we came and we played, and then I got to talk to Vinny, and he said, "Look, there's an opening here for a position for a development officer and a coach." So then he said, "Did you want to talk to my boss and see what happens?" And I said, "Why not?" So following week I came, we had a meeting, and we talked about the possibilities and the opportunities, and that was when we made the team decision. So my wife and I, we made the decision to move to the northern New South Wales area, and that was a new beginning for us. So that's how from the Lismore region, they opened a new branch in the Grafton Coffs Harbour region, and I was assigned to do it, and here I am. So that's how I got to Grafton, and then my career in Australia actually began much earlier than in Grafton, when I got to Grafton. So my career in Australia, well, firstly, I wasn't sure if I was going to work with futsal or if I was going to coach at all here in Australia, because when I first came, I had absolutely no English. I was, the book is on the table was the best I could do. So the idea was to just spend 6 months on a student visa, learn a little bit of English, and then go back home. But one of those little things that you can't explain. So when I was preparing my suitcase, my luggage, so I could come for the big trip, for some reason I just threw it in the bag. 2 things that I wasn't even planning to put there. So one was my whistle, because I like to use a whistle when I coach, especially a group session. And second was, it's actually in here, so I'll show you what it was. So it was this. So it was, don't know if you can see it. It is a book called Futsal 1,000 Exercises. So this was in my bag together with my whistle. So all the things futsal related there. So that was maybe unconsciously I was thinking of one day coaching. Later on, after a few months, getting a little bit more confident with my English, so I'm still learning to these days. It's never going to be my first language, so apologies if anything doesn't make too much sense. So then I 6 months later I started to coach in Brisbane. So that was a Sunday futsal academy in which I coached for a few years. It was my first opportunity, and that's where Vinny and everybody who is watching, that's where my career as a coach started in Australia. Before that, I had different jobs. I had to, like everybody else, chase my dreams, but I also had to pay the bills. So I did some work as a cleaner, and I did some work as a waiter, and many other things to help paying the bills, until I got to the point that I was confident with my English. I had the skills, I had the knowledge to be able to start coaching, even though at the beginning it was probably more demonstrating. It was probably just dancing if I had to, for the kids to understand what I wanted to say, with a few loose words here and there. But that's how I started my career. So obviously, when you start doing something that is, it wasn't new as in coaching futsal, but it was new in coaching futsal in English. So I got experience. I'm improved as a coach. I started to understand what futsal, how futsal was seen in Australia, and that's how, and that's where I started my career in futsal. So I hope I I answered your question. So Chris, hello Chris, welcome. So for those watching now, are you enjoying this story? Did I mention anything that you did not know? So if I did, can you do me a favor and click on the little like button or the love button for me? Just so you know that I gave you some information something that you didn't know before. So that's very important to me. So as I said, this is an interaction, this is a conversation. It's not so much me talking. So questions and answers. So once again, thanks for the question, Vinny, and welcome for those starting to watch us now. For those just joining, my name is Renan and I am a futsal and football coach, and I'm here sharing my story and my journey with you today in this live. Okay. For those who have commented below, either if it's a question or any type of comment, I will have a special gift for you. I will have a special gift to give away. So you need to be participating, to be eligible. You will need to do two things. You need to comment and you need to stay until the end of this live. So if you comment, you straight away, your name goes in a paper and goes folded into a hat. And obviously you need to stay at the end of this live so you can participate of that draw. Okay. So we have another question here. What are your plans? What are your plans as a coach? Thanks for the question, Gabby. It is a good question. At the moment, the world's gone crazy, as you probably know, with this health crisis. So at the moment, my plans are to continue to improve as a coach. So I have already purchased 2 ebooks, so which I have already started to read. So I'm trying to not only be a better coach, but a better person. So personal development as well. And in coaching, my current plans are to continue to develop and to continue to improve. I am buying an online course as well from a very famous coach in Brazil, which I'm going to be starting at the beginning of May. So studying is important for our mental health. So that's my immediate plan, to continue to develop and improve as a coach. I have been doing lots of one-on-one sessions, so private sessions here in the region of the north coast of New South Wales. So that's my new and improved program for private coaching. So anyone with a child that's watching and live in a 100k radius, I'd be more than happy to go and run an initial assessment with your child, so we can do a personal training session with soccer-based skills, futsal-based skills. So these are obviously my immediate plans, and for near future plans, when this goes back to normal, I intend to obviously resume our activities with North Coast Futsal here. In McLean, Grafton and Coffs Harbour too. With our High Performance Academy program, we have a project together with other clubs and coaches called the NSL. So these are the immediate and near future plans. So I hope I answered your questions. Just want to say hi to Crunch. Anthony Elwood's watching now. Hey Crunch, welcome. So a lot of people always ask me if I could change something at the beginning of my story, if I would change something in my career. So I can truly say, guys, that I don't have many regrets in my professional career. So I think my goal, my dream has always been to help young children to develop their skills and to reach their full potential, to be the best they can be. So that makes me complete. That makes me really, really happy when I make a positive impact. And that's answering your question already, Gabby. So what do I like most about being a coach? So it is that helping young children to develop to their full potential, to be the best they can be, making a positive impact. When a child is able to perform something that they couldn't do before, that they didn't have the confidence, they didn't have the skill, that puts a very, very big smile on my face and makes me so happy. And I think that is my life goal, to continue to provide that opportunity for every kid I come into contact when coaching football or futsal, being either on a private session environment or being in a group session or being in a competition environment. So that is what really I like the most about being a coach. For those joining us, if you wanted to send any questions, now is a good time. So we are heading towards the end of this live. So if there was any other questions, our friends watching this broadcast, please tell us, and I'll be more than happy to continue to answer your questions. It is very difficult for everyone, and especially in our futsal community, to not be on the sidelines. I think we can all relate to that. Not being on the sidelines, if you're a coach, at times pretty much kills you on the inside. So, but we have to adapt, and we have to obviously follow the rules and everything that's being imposed with social distancing and etc. So here comes another question. How do you compare futsal in Australia with futsal in Brazil? Quality of players and opportunity for players who choose to play futsal. Okay, it is such an amazing question. I was actually hoping someone would ask that. So once again, thanks for the great question, Vinny. How do I compare futsal in Australia and in Brazil? So firstly, futsal in Brazil is the number 2 sport. So pretty much, if not, it'll be the biggest sport among children, and obviously at young ages, and then later on they have the choice to move into outdoor football or to stay in futsal. Futsal is a professional sport in Brazil. They have a national league, they have professional clubs, they have big sponsors, players get paid, so they have wages, which unfortunately it does not happen in Australia yet. So the closest I think we've got here in Australia was to have the F League a few years ago, and there has been some other initiatives by some private companies here, but it's still, even though some clubs will go further and will pay for flights, accommodation, even meals, it's not an all year round preparation. Players don't have wages and salaries. So on that respect, I think Brazil is very different. Okay, so I won't say better because there are so many cultural aspects when comparing one country to another, and how especially in sports. For example, Australia is awesome in rugby, and the two types of rugbies, and AFL and cricket, and Brazil has no idea what they are. And if they do have a team, apologies for those who practice those sports in Brazil, but they very beginners. So there are cultural aspects that come into effect for when you compare, but these are the main differences as I see, Vinny, in futsal comparing Brazil and Australia. I do see that Australia has an enormous potential to reach that level of organization one day. So we need to, as advocates of the sport, we must continue to do what we do and to improve in what we offer, and also to be able to provide the kids the opportunity, the best possible opportunity, so when they come to an age, when they're adults, when they're reaching adulthood, when they live in teenagehood, they can see futsal as a true and viable option. Okay. Quality of players and opportunity for players who choose to play futsal. The quality of players, I truly believe that the players with the best quality, technically, will continue to come from the futsal courts. And remember, I'm not including the naturally talented kids that any coach would look good coaching them. So I'm talking about the ones who really need help, the beginners. So we will discuss more about this. We'll have a live with you soon. But the quality of the players and the opportunity that the players who choose to play futsal. The opportunities at the moment aren't many, and they will continue to be connected with how football takes futsal seriously in this country, or if football gives total authority to the futsal people, the real futsal people, the futsal lovers, to be running the show. And without any egos and without any politics, and that is the only way we will move forward with futsal in this country. So that's what I view. Here comes another question. Thank you, Mick. How are your teams and players handling this current situation? What plans do you have for your teams competing when we return? Okay, Mick, just want to say thank you for sparing the time and watching us and sending this great question. My teams, at the moment, they are all on standby. They are doing what they're being asked to do, so they're staying at home. I believe most of them, they're practicing at home, in their backyard, in their living room, just trying to keep their fitness up, their ball control up, and obviously their mental health is important. When a child that it's accustomed to go outside and kick a ball and play 2-3 different sports, have those outdoor activities and etc., and then all of a sudden they have to stay at home, that is a big impact. So our teams and our players, I truly believe that they're handling this situation best way they can. Obviously, the families are here. They are amazing. They are very good families that we have the pleasure to work with. So I truly believe that makes a very big impact in how they're handling the situation, this crisis, which I think are doing the very best they can. And I truly believe that your East Coast futsal families are doing the same there. What plans do I have for our teams competing. So the future is uncertain. So I do believe that when we return, we will have some work to do on the courts, on the sidelines. I am so looking forward to getting back into it, and I think obviously you, Vinny, Hafa, all the other coaches watching, feeling the same. So that passion that we have for the sport is just amazing. So the plans are simple. As soon as we're being told that we're good to go, the center is open, kids are allowed to leave the house, and you know, we're basically good to go. The next day I'll be on the sideline giving instructions and preparing for our return. So my thoughts are that we need to come on the other side stronger, because we will be together. So together during this crisis, so we will be stronger at the end of the crisis. So getting stronger, much more, stronger than before. We will get back into it. We'll go into the sidelines and start coaching again, and hopefully we'll be able to get our players in an NSL competition, in a state of origin, a Jacaranda Cup, in the Queensland leagues like the Johnny Warren, the Gold Coast International, and so on. So these are our plans for when we return. I really want to return full speed, full on. I will waste no time, and I will propose that we increase the amount of time allocated to the training sessions, and I will be offering a second day for those who can to be training a second day, because at the moment we have a lot of people training just once a week, and some people, making the travel from between McLean, Grafton and Coffs to train twice a week. So that's my plan. So hope I answered your question, Mick. Thank you again for sending the question. So hopefully football doesn't get in the way of futsal by taking over our season. Good point, Vinny, and I share your concern. So and I'm sure Mick would have the same thoughts, and other futsal coaches watching us right now, either if you're watching live or if you're going to watch just replay on my page. I truly hope, Vinny, that their football season doesn't get in the way, doesn't take over our season, because there are a few points that we have to consider, and then of course football is important, and we like watching football. I have nothing against football, or soccer, how some people call it. But there is a time that would be more appropriate for them to be running their competitions, which is in winter. So I'm not wishing for football not to go ahead. Quite the contrary, I want it to go ahead, and I want the players to be able to enjoy football and to go ahead and play futsal. They should never compete with each other. They should enrich each other. So one helps the other, so they have same way. I think we're getting futsal players to play our NSL during the winter time, which is really good, a really big step forward in developing this sport. I think if football has to run in summer, which is when we would be running our junior and senior competitions mostly, so we do have things happening all year round, and futsal, yes, has to be all year round, and there's no doubt about that. But if football decides to go and run into summer, I think if they were smart enough, they would just simply talk and sit down and discuss, or even a phone call or anything. So we could be offering the opportunity for the kids to be playing both football and futsal at the same time. So I don't know how the high temperatures of summer would impact on them playing during the day on a weekend. You can easily, where I am, you can easily get 40, 42 degrees, which is obviously goes against the weather policies for the football federations in Australia. So hopefully we will find a way to work together and make it happen for both futsal and football. In Sydney, they will play football from October to December. That is the talk going around. We always knew it was going to be a possibility. I was watching an interview by one of the bosses here in our region for football, for the North Coast Football Federation, and he did explain a few things, and he did mention that there was a possibility for them to run at that period, but he also said there was a lot of things yet to be considered for that to happen. So I don't know if they've gone any further in the Sydney region. Do we still have friends from Queensland watching? So how is that in Queensland? Rafael is still there, Andrea, anybody else watching from Queensland? Put in the comments how it's going to affect in the Queensland season, and obviously do you have any more information in your area? Is Mick Day still watching? So Mick, how is that going to impact you in your area there? Is that something that you had thought about? Playing at night times, reduce training nights, and play during the week. I think that would be an option for them to run weeknights. A lot of people will probably not like that idea so much. I can speak for where I am here. So there are a lot of parents who really value their family time at night at home and doing their things. So I don't know how that would work. Obviously, weather-wise, it would be cooler and easier for them to run in a night. We tend to run futsal starting in the afternoon and going into the evening as well. So hopefully, if that's what they're doing, that would go. As I said, that would have to be a conversation for it not to be, on the same night. So I suppose there has to be an initiative from either side. Someone must contact someone and say, hey, how can we work together for the benefit of the kids? So rather than, for our benefit or for the dollars or for the ego, for whatever reason, how can we do this together so everybody, all the kids, all the seniors, whoever is playing, can still do both? So that's my view on that issue. So I believe that would be the best way to go. Communication in every aspect of our lives has always been important and will continue to be. So last chance for questions, guys. I think we're pretty much heading towards the end. I will get all the comments after this live broadcast finish. I'll get all the comments left in here during this live, and I will write it down, the name of the person, and just fold it, put it into a hat, and then we'll pick out of the hat to give a special gift. So there's a giveaway at the end of this broadcast. So I want to obviously thank you everyone for sticking around. It means so much to me that you're here, and that we can start a conversation and discuss about the issues that really matter in the field that we love so much. Mick saying we have dedicated futsal players and teams now who prioritize futsal first, but everyone needs to work together for football to change their seasons. For football to change their season will impact many, including cricket. So that is a good point, Mick. We also have here, we're starting to have more and more players just saying, hey, Renan, I want to stick with futsal. I don't want to play football anymore. I don't know. They must have their own reasons. They have made their mind. The parents are seeing what's happening. So the parents are seeing everything that's happening. So and they're making the decisions in conjunction with their kids, and they're seeing that you in Port Macquarie and Vinny in the Lismore region and myself here, we bring value to the kids. Everything that we offer, we bring value. So I truly believe that is what makes a huge impact on the families, the kids, to have, for us to start having dedicated futsal players and teams that will always prioritize futsal rather than football. So it is, obviously building a culture here. So it's hard work. There's a long way to go, but I still believe that, if we can sit down or even a phone call, it'll be much more helpful than everybody trying to guess or Google, or worse, not even talk about it and just do their own thing. And then obviously that could cause a clash, and that could put a family in an uncomfortable position to have to choose to play football or to play futsal. So we don't want that. I'm not saying that futsal is better than football. Okay, all I'm saying is that there's enough space for everyone. Okay, as long as there's good and positive communication. Just want to say hi to Glenn. Glenn, where are you watching us from? Are you on the Gold Coast? Just put in a comment below for me, Glenn. Glenn is a good friend from the Crusaders Futsal Club on the Gold Coast. Just want to bring him into this conversation. Glenn, are you on the Gold Coast right now? Where are you watching this from? And a good point too that you made, Mick, is to mention that not only futsal can be affected by a sport like football changing their season, but it could affect cricket and potentially other sports that would run at the same time. So yes, Glenn's on the Gold Coast. So welcome, Glenn. I just thought I'd put this little live together we talked a little bit about my story, my journey to I got to where I am here, and it's been really awesome 11 years of Australia. So that's, believe it or not, it's been 11 years here. Initially never wanted to stay, just wanted to learn English and go home, but then thought, why not to do what I love here, which is to coach futsal, coach football, make a positive impact on people's lives. So welcome, Glenn. We had some really deep conversations going on right now about the impact that the football season that perhaps will run during summer this year, considering all the health crisis with the COVID-19 and the restrictions of social distancing and etc. We're having a little discussion here to see if it will and how it will impact. So do you reckon you would share with us in the comments your views on the issue? Just type in the comments there, Glenn, if you could please, just your view on the issue. Where's Football Queensland at the moment with returning their season? Are they thinking of running during summer? Is that going to impact the operation in your Crusaders Futsal Club? By the way, if anyone's watching in Gold Coast, Crusaders, very, very good club, very, very good coaches. Go there. So what do you think? What are your thoughts, Glenn? If you just send us a comment. We got Vinny watching, we got Mick Day watching, some good friends watching at the moment. Everyone who's watching, if you have any questions, we heading towards the end of this live. I will give a special gift for those who stick around to the end. So your name is going to go into a hat, and we're going to pick out of a hat, and there's a special giveaway. You must stay until the end of this live for that special giveaway. So if Glenn is with us, and we would love to hear your opinion on this, Glenn. Our local coaches involved will be keen to collaborate and work with them. That's a good start, Glenn. I think I truly believe that as we were talking, discussing the issue here, is still the best way to go to communicate and to sit down to make a phone call and see, hey, how about we think, how can we benefit the kids? How can we still offer them, everything, so they don't have to miss out on anything, they don't have to choose between A and B. The arrogance from some coaches and potentially directors, and that is unfortunately going to happen, and that's why I mentioned before, it has to be, I don't know if you agree, if you're still watching, hit that like button or the heart button if you're still watching, if you agree with this. It has to be about the kids, not about us, not about our egos, not about the politics with the directors. Just do it and go in and press that thumbs up button and the heart button if you think it has to be about the kids, not about us, not about our egos or about the politics and the directors. See, I can see the hearts flying and the thumbs up. So we are all on the same page. All on the same page. At a committee level, where they will make the kids choose. Yeah. So that's where the issue lies. I think, if you, I don't know if you agree with me, but the committee members have to be, well, ideally, will have to be open-minded people who are not partial. So they have to make the decisions once again based on how would this kid benefit more. Would we put this family in a good position if we make them choose? If we, after paying a decent amount of money, if we still tell them that they can't do this and they can't do that, what do you think? It is complicated. It's a very very deep conversation, I suppose. And obviously, when I started this live, I wasn't even planning to go there. But I'm happy that you Vinny and Mick and now you, Glenn, have brought this concerns and opinions, and so I'm very glad that we're having this conversation, and we will be doing it more. So I think it's valid. I see every day. I watch people live on Facebook and Instagram, and interviewing and discussing, and and seeing how they can improve on things. And I think this is a very valid channel for us to be talking. So I will be. It's not so much an interview, but I'll be on a live broadcast with a coach next week, and I will be announcing who that is in the next few days, and obviously there will be an opportunity for other coaches like yourselves to be participating in a live. So we're going to share the screen, and we're going to be having a conversation, questions and answers, and talk about issues that really matter here for us, where we are in this beautiful Aussie land. Okay, guys, I think we are now ready to complete this live broadcast, and I just wanted to just say how important it is for me that you stuck around, that you stayed with me. It means the world to me. I think we will continue to support each other in the best way we can, and we'll continue to talk and putting the kids first. We will be achieving more together. So together, at the end of this crisis, we will be stronger. So once again, I wanted to thank you for participating. Hit that like button for me. Send your love. A big thank you to all the people that are watching, either now live or the replay later. If you sent us a comment there, we will be putting you, and you stuck around to the end of the live, we'll be putting you in a draw, and we'll have a special giveaway, a special gift for you. So I'm looking forward to catching up with you very soon. And once again, my name is Coach Renan Fenerich, and I have been live with you, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.